Morning, guys. Hey, it's a little bit rainy and overcast here in Colorado. This is Thursday. What is this? The 8th of August as I record this. And I want to talk to you guys about how to leverage artificial intelligence in your studies. We're going to take a look at what artificial intelligence is. I'm not going to go into great detail just to show you an overview. And we're going to talk about how to utilize these tools in such a way that you can get more and better information out of them. So this should be super informative. Let's get started. So you've undoubtedly heard the phrase artificial intelligence. There is a subset of artificial intelligence called machine learning. We usually, when we're in the business, we call it ML. There's even a bigger subset of that called deep learning, which is where the artificial neural networks land. And then there's a topic called data science. So these are all roped into AI. There's a lot of fear of AI. You've probably heard this. People are afraid that machines are going to take over the world, this kind of thing. But I think they can be really, really helpful for doing academic research. So if you're researching the Bible or you want to research technical subjects or something like that, I think they can actually be really useful. Now, I do have a subscription to what is called ChatGPT. Let me go through this real quickly so that you understand what's going on here. So ChatGPT is what is called a large language model, and you don't really need to go into a whole bunch of detail in researching it. It's called an LLM. And the idea here is that we have a large database full of information. And so with ChatGPT, what's going on is that we have the corpus, or the complete arrangement of texts for most of human thought. Anything that's been put out on the web or published or anything like that, we have access to it. We call it the corpus of human knowledge. And of course, we don't have some things, like we don't have access to your x-ray records, for example, because those are behind lock and key in an encrypted area, but we do have access to all this research that's gone on. We don't have access to military secrets, but we do have access to some of the research that was involved in developing military secrets. So that's the idea. It's called a large language model, an LLM, and that's what ChatGPT is. Also, what is this GPT thing here? Well, let's go look. So that stands for, this is machine learning mumbo jumbo. There's no need to know about how this works or why this works, but you just should be aware that this is where it got its name from. It stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. This is what is called a neural network, an NN, if you will. And the idea behind neural nets is that neuroscientists, and technical scientists wanted to somehow come up with a way to emulate the way that the human brain thinks. And so this neural net was invented. It's been around quite a while. I remember working with neural net software way back in the early 90s. However, it's come a long way. And one of the models that's used is called a pre-trained transformer. And what that means is that we take a whole big glob of data. We select, somewhere between a third and a half of the data. And we train the model so that it can figure out what it's looking at. It labels everything, it scores everything, and then we test it to make sure it's going to give us accurate predictions. So all it is one machine learning methodology, and that's what ChatGPT is. So let's go back here and look at this. Now, I'm a subscriber, but you should know that you can get out this for free. And there are actually several versions of ChatGPT. There's ChatGPT 4, 4.0. If you go in as a free subscriber, it's going to be 3.5. And then it also includes DALL-E, which is a drawing program. And then if you pay for ChatGPT, you can add on different options. So you can see here that I have one called Wine Sommelier, which I've never used. I don't know why I included that, but if I click these dots, I can hide it from the sidebar, and I can explore other GPTs, and they're out there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's out there. So that's the idea behind chat. Now, let's go in and do a little bit of a quick query. For example, suppose that I wanted to have it develop some code for me that would write a checkers game in the Python programming language. So I'm going to say write a Python program for me that emulates a checkers game. And I hit enter. It's actually super fast, so it writes the code and it puts it inside here like this. I can take and copy this code. It's not ready to go. I would have to copy this code and I would have to then modify it so that it would fit my needs rather than just, so this is just a suggested piece of code, and you can see that's going on with the instructions. Now, why did it give me everything? This is where I really want to go in this, because what you have to do, if you're going to train ChatGPT to do things, you want them to do things correctly. And so what that means is that you have to give it instructions. I watched a YouTube a while back. This woman's name is Laura Garani. I will put that YouTube link onto this YouTube for you so that you can go out and learn more about it. But I thought it was very, very good. I turned around and did this for my work, especially predominantly for biblical study, but also I've used it a ton for technology as well. And so I really like the way that you fine-tune this. So let me show you what you're going to do. So what you're going to do, first things first, is you're going to come up here and click your icon. And if you're in ChatGPT 3.5, I don't know if it used to be down at the bottom over here, but it may still be, I don't know, but because now I'm paying for this service, it's not much. It's up here. And if I go to Customize ChatGPT right here, and I click that, you get what are called thought starters. And here's the thing. So what you want to do is before you start to use ChatGPT, you want to sit down and write out your thoughts. You can even have ChatGPT rewrite your thoughts for you so that they're a little more clear and succinct, so that when you put your customization instructions in there, they're already well devised. But let me show you what we're looking at. So I've copied both of these things into Notepad. And it says thought starters. Where are you based? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies? What subjects can you talk about for hours? What are some of the goals that you have? These are all questions that you might want to answer inside your ChatGPT customization. Let me show you what mine looks like. Okay, so there's two sections. You can see, first of all, that I have this custom instructions section, which is this here. And then we'll go into how would you like ChatGPT to respond. So let me show them both to you. These are my custom instructions. So you can see that I basically gave it a bio. I'm a retired CTE educator. I have a PhD in Bible. I love biblical Hebrew and Greek. I love a ton of other languages. I'm interested in linguistic activities that focus on languages I'm trying to learn, like Hebrew, Greek, Russian, Spanish. And I'm going to put in here now that I've started Norwegian. I'll put that in there as well, and Chinese. I'm interested in theological subjects such as eschatology, which is the study of end times, extra biblical manuscripts. Let me see, spelling. Oh, it doesn't like how I spell. That's all right. I'll come back to that. There might be an I in there. Nope, there's not. I'll come back and respell that later. Extra biblical manuscripts such as the Book of Enoch and Jasher and Jubilees. I'll put in Jubilees here. Jubilees. And Jasher. I'm getting quite interested in Sudoku. Scratch that. I had a little bit of an interest in it, but no more. Kind of over it. I can talk about computers and computer technology topics in Hebrew for hours. I really can. I'm very, very interested in the intersection of language, technology. And so, you know, if you're a coder, that's a language that you learn. So if you're coding at all, if you enjoy code, you probably have a linguistic trait. If you like music, chances are you're very linguistic as well, because music is, after all, a language. I use ChatGPT right now for the advanced knowledge of Hebrew, but I would like to expand my knowledge into other languages such as Russian and Chinese and various theological concepts like Genesis chapter 14, which is an extremely interesting story. So that's this part here. It's my custom instructions. So I'm telling it who I am. I'm giving it a bio, and you can see here it's 855. I have 855 characters out of 1,500 that's allowed. Now the next part is going to be my ChatGPT response. I have 1,500 characters there. Let me read that for you so you can see what I said. So this is where you want to be very, very pointed when you talk to ChatGPT. You want to tell ChatGPT, do what I tell you to do, and don't do things that you think are okay to do, because it will. It will make decisions and give you stuff that could be junk. One of the phrases that we use with AI is that it hallucinates. I'll show you this in a minute, because if you ask DALL-E to draw you a drawing that has a sentence in it, it's going to misspell that sentence and put very odd characters in there every time without fail. DALL-E is a great tool for drawing things. It is not a great tool for drawing things with text on it. So it says, when I ask Hebrew questions, please provide both the modern and the biblical view, because modern Hebrew is slightly different than biblical Hebrew. And what I mean is with and without vowel points. I want to not see the vowel points, but I also want to see the vowel points. So I want it to show the vowel points to me as well as the not vowel points. I want you to also provide me correct pronunciation assistance. And what it'll do is it'll put out like a poor person's, show you how to kind of pronounce that the way you would write it out if you were trying to pronounce the words and you're just trying to spell it in English the way that you think it should be pronounced. When I'm asking for assistance with Chinese, please provide me with the characters in the word, how to pronounce the tonality of the word, because Chinese is a tone-based language, down, up, and across, like that, and a breakdown of how it is constructed. When I'm asking for assistance with Russian, please provide me with the Cyrillic characters and how to pronounce the tonality of the word and breakdown of how it's constructed. And I could come in here and put this in for Norwegian, Spanish, German, French, etc. You get the idea. So what you're doing is you're giving it instructions. I would prefer that ChatGPT is formal in its dialogue with me. And you can choose. You can say, be very colorful with me, be very happy with me, be joyful, be, go way low, be very basic with me. So you can tell it how you want it to treat you. When it comes to languages, I want long responses. When it comes to computer questions, I don't want super long answers. And I'm going to get rid of the super here because I think it's extraneous. I don't really need that. I am fine with ChatGPT to remain neutral. In other words, you don't want ChatGPT to give you its opinion. Why? Because men and women created this tool, and every person on the planet has biases, and those biases are built into the tool. Trust me on that. When I ask for code, you can give me the most efficient code snippet and a brief explanation of how the code works. And we saw that. So here, it gave me the code output. You can see the black bar behind there, but it also gave me the example of how it's supposed to work. Always, and this is important, always add the confidence level of your answer. When your answer includes facts, always provide a valid URL with the source for your answer. You can say URL or reference that I could look up or a book that I could look into, however you want to do that. So if you're studying, what you want to do is you want to have it tell you where it found that information. And by the way, you can ask it for information that you're reading like in a book. If you want to know, hey, I want to know about this, can you give me more information on this? I have found ChatGPT to be enormously helpful. And then it says, if you speculate or predict something, inform me. So you want Chat to tell you, I am speculating on this. Okay, so that's the idea. So then what you do is you have to make up both of these. So these are two different sections. You take this section, and I just do a Control A to select everything, and a Control C to copy. And then what I do is I come in here and I do a Control A to grab everything and a Control V to paste. And then you can see I have a save there. Also under GPT-4 capabilities, I have browsing, Dolly, and code. And Dolly is the drawing program. So that's how you customize it. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'll come back to that later. We asked it to write a checkers game for us, and it printed out the Python code, which if you're reading this on the Ancient Text Revealed YouTube channel, you probably don't care a lot about. I'll show you the Hebrew here in a minute. And then it gives you the simple explanation of what it's trying to do. So that's how it writes code. Now this is so effective. It is so effective that it has found its way into things like Microsoft Visual Studio. A lot of coders use this because they want to get the shell of the code and then they can go in and modify it. And it's very, very useful. And you can see here how it's built into the Google browser now. So here's AI giving me an answer before anything else gives me an answer. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I think that ChatGPT is actually a better search engine than, sorry, I'm messing around with this bar I've got over here, is a better search engine than Google, which used to use PageRank. And PageRank, you could buy it off. Like you could pay to go to the top of the search hit. And I'm sure you've been out there where you're looking for something and you wind up 6 or 7 pages deep and you finally find the answer and you're like, well, shoot, that took me a long time to go through that. So especially with these esoteric questions, you're almost better off giving it to ChatGPT than you are trying to get Google to spit it out for you, because it'll take you a while to find it. So it's really actually a better search engine. I will put a link to, I love this guy. I'll put a link to a YouTube that I watched with my students just before I left school, and he's talking about the ability of chat to be, or a GPT or an LLM to be a better search engine than actual Google. So I'll put that in the link for you there, in the links when I publish this movie. Now let's ask it something. So I want to know, can you talk to me? I'll say, because I'm very interested right now in Tish B'Av. As I record this, we are on, this is August 8th. Tish B'Av is a day of sorrows. It starts August 12th this year, which I think is Tuesday or whatever. And it starts at sundown. So you know that the Jews, all the holidays begin at sundown and go to the next day. Now, Tish B'Av is not a holiday. It's a day of sorrow. It's a day of distress. So back in 568 BC, I think that's right, 586 BC, is when Nebuchadnezzar came and destroyed the temple. That's called the First Temple. The Second Temple was destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD. There are 4 or 5 other Tish B'Av things that happened to the Jews, and these are always, when Tish B'Av comes around, there's fasting, there's prayer, they're praying for their country, that kind of a thing. And so there is some speculation that, with this Iranian issue, the Iranians are mad, they want to strike Israel. There's some speculation that it will happen on Tish B'Av of this year. And so that's why I'm interested in Tish B'Av. So what I might say is I might come in and say, can you explain more to me about the Hebrew day Tish B'Av? And I hit enter. And it takes it a minute. And it's doing exactly what I've asked it to do. So it's printing out the Hebrew, shows me how to pronounce it, talks to me about what went on, what happened. Like another one was the Bar Kokhba revolt in 135 CE, which is AD, the expulsion from Spain in 1492, and so forth. So that's the idea. And you can see here, I told it I want you to give this to me with vowel points, give me the pronunciation, with vowel points, without vowel points, pronounce keynote. So that's very, very cool. Yeah? So you could say, okay, you might try out another language. So you might say, what is the word for winter in Norwegian? I'll misspell it again just to, let me make sure I don't know what I'm doing when I'm spelling Norwegian. Hold on a minute. Okay, so it's actually Norwegian, like that. So I've got that all. What is the word for winter in Norwegian? I hit enter. And so what it does is it looks for that. It says, oh, it's winter. And it gives me some phrases that I can use. So that is ChatGPT. Now let me show you Dolly real quick. So I'm going to go over here to Dolly. And remember, you've got to pay the $15 a month to be able to get access to all of these things. So I do like ChatGPT 4.0. There's a 4.0 and there's a 4.0. I like ChatGPT 4.0. And so I can say, please draw me a picture of the the Tish B'Av day, including some Hebrew words and or English words. And let's see what it does. So it's going to take Dolly a minute for it to draw. I'll put this on hold until we get the picture back. And you can see that it gives you two pictures, and they're actually pretty good, like that. And then if I look here, let me see if I can click this and see it. You can see how it put this here, Tish B'Av, and it put this backwards, and it put some Hebrew over here, and I have no idea what the heck it thinks it's doing, and this is not the Israeli flag. So it did a really poor job. And what you can do then is you can say, well, I don't like this. You can give it a thumbs down and ask it to redo it. Let's do one in computers. Can you please draw me a graphic of the TCP/IP protocols of the, the most popular TCP/IP protocols, and write out their names. Let's see what it does here. And I'll hit enter. I'll put it on hold until the drawing comes back. Okay, so this did okay. And it actually spelled things out, but look, it says IMAP right here. That is not IMAIP, it's IMAP. And I don't know what IMAPT is, and this is weird. There's not even an English letter that looks like that. And there's something weird going on here, and F''TP. This is called hallucination. What it's doing, look, TMAP, there's some real junk out here. It's putting out stuff that's actual junk, and then like HHHOS and other stuff. I don't have any idea what these are. But anyway, it's hallucinating, and it's not doing a very good job. So be careful with Dolly. Now, if you said, hey, I want you to draw me a picture of Moses, and it does a beautiful job with that. And here's a picture of Moses. And then, but again, it's hallucinating. If you look at this is mode and MOBAs or something like that. So if it's putting text on the screen along with the drawing, yeah, you're not going to get a very good output. It's going to hallucinate. You should probably tell Chat, don't put any text in the drawing. Okay, so that's ChatGPT. Now, there is one last thing that I wanted to show you. This is actually relatively slow. A couple of things you should know. ChatGPT at one time was a not-for-profit organization. And Microsoft came along and injected X amount of billions into the company. And now it's a COM, so it's a company. It's been integrated into Microsoft products like Bing and so forth, which I'm not a fan of, so I'm not real crazy about that either. But there are better, LLMs that you can use that will serve you better, and they'll be much faster. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I go out here to Grok, GROQ.com, grok.com, the interface looks essentially the same way. And if I say, please explain to me the day called Tish B'Av, and I hit enter. Now, this is called SSO, single sign-on. I like that. So what I do is I log in with Google here, and then I select my account, and then it gives me the answer here. Now I want you to notice something here. Let's go back and try it here. So I will copy this question. Please explain to me about Tish B'Av. Okay, let's go see how this worked in here. So I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm in ChatGPT 4.0. Please explain to me the day called Tish B'Av. And I hit enter. Now look at how much time it's going to take. And it's doing a little bit more for me. Like I'm asking it to translate some more stuff and so forth. But it's taking a little time. You can see that it takes a little time. Like so. Like there's a lot going on here. And I love this, that you can take and you can copy this, put it into a document, use it as an outline for something that you're doing. It's very cool. I really like that. Now if I come in here and say, grab this sentence here, I want you to watch it in Grok. Like it's enormously quick. If I do this here, same sentence, boom. So this 123150 terabits per second, this is magnificently fast. This is really, really fast. So this thing is moving right along, and I think that for the most part, I think that you would be better off using Grok if you're looking for a quicker explanation. If you told it that you wanted it to draw something, like draw me a picture of Moses, let's see if it'll do it. Yep, won't do that. He says, I'm a large language model. I don't have the ability to draw pictures. So you'd have to go back to DALL-E for that. Okay, I hope this helps. Please go out and customize your ChatGPT. And I haven't checked, if I'm being honest with you, I haven't checked Grok to see if there's a way that I could customize that here. I kind of imagine there is. Like I would click my account right here, and I would go in here and go to Advanced Settings and System Prompt. So that's probably where I would go to customize this section here. Don't forget that you should customize this. I'll put a link below for a very extensive movie that I did not create, someone else created, that will be really helpful to you. I'll also put a link to a movie about a guy that is talking about how really AI is going to replace PageRank in terms of search. It already has, and so it's moving along. So long and short, be afraid of AI. Don't overuse it. Be aware that it hallucinates. It's going to give you junk sometimes. You've got to really know what you're looking for. And be very careful about how you tell it what to do. And I recommend that you customize it so that it gives you more accurate answers than you're looking for. Okay, I hope this was helpful. And please like and share and subscribe to these movies if you're enjoying them. Feel free to comment. Tell your friends about these. I'm trying to grow these channels, and so any new viewers that I have, I would love that. Thank you, and I'll talk to you on the next video.